It is out now. Say yes.
Yes.
That is the name of really something you've been working on for a very long time, because we've had a chance to have a conversation, which we'll talk about later. But this is what you were working on, and I feel like you were keeping this a secret because you did not tell me really the names of the songs, the projects you're putting out. And here it is. It's called Say Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just, I'm so grateful. I'm happy to be putting out music again.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here talking about the music.
Let's go.
You know, it's just it's a gift. And honestly, and it's been a journey. You know,
Yes,
even when you
it
said like the
has.
last time we had the conversation, it was just something that I wasn't even intentionally keeping close to my chest. I was just still figuring it out, you know? And I wanted to be able to share it in the right timing, in the right way, when I was ready to really be here to support it and be out in the world supporting it. So, you know, I feel really happy. Feel really happy that it's out finally.
Listen, we've been waiting for this for a very long time, you know, and I'm not just speaking for myself, but for your fans. I know even Katrina, for all of us, really. We've been waiting for you. And I feel like this time has finally arrived. What took so long?
Oh, girl.
Why? Why were you depriving us of great music, your voice, your talent, your greatness?
You know what? I was just being great in my own life. I was pouring into myself. You know, I wasn't depriving my family. I wasn't depriving my
Ooh.
personal life.
Okay.
I really decided that I wanted to reframe my professional life, and I wanted to invest in my personal life, and I wanted to gain new experience, and I wanted to give myself the space to be human and take my time because it's mine to take. You know, I feel like that's the thing, especially in entertainment, we're very controlled and dictated sometimes by
Right.
the clock is ticking,
Oh,
and
yeah.
people will forget, and they'll, you know, you're
Yeah.
only as good as your last hit. The beautiful thing about my journey is that even along the way, in sharing my personal journey, in sharing when I decided to step into motherhood, and sharing my love and my public, you know, the public side of my personal life, it was really something that I got support for from my fans as well. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
hey
yeah,
girl,
yeah.
we love this. Like, whenever you're ready. If I popped out to do a show, people
Right.
showed up. You know, people still were checking for me throughout this whole process.
Absolutely.
And so I felt supported through the process,
Right.
that I could just take my time and really step back into the space the way I wanted to, feeling complete and whole and healthy.
For a lot of artists, it's hard to step away because the fear of not being relevant is real, because that then means, like, are you done? Is your career over? Does anybody care about you? I mean, you're a performer, right? So I understand those concerns. Were you concerned at some point? And if you were, when did you stop caring?
I just don't think that I've ever wrapped up my identity in the validation of other people's approval.
How did you do this, especially with the profession that you do, right?
You know,
that requires
because
a crowd.
it
at
requires a
times.
crowd. But you know what, though? I think the place in which I create and the place in which I operate from is just from intention. And I think that I don't ever want to operate from a lack mentality. I always want to know that I am going to be provided for in a space of living in my purpose.
Right.
And whatever that looks like. And so even in this time, in the absence of music, I've pivoted into a space of creating community for mothers.
Absolutely.
and for
Great
women,
conversation. What
right?
you have built has given us so much comfort as a mom.
you.
So thank you. And I feel like we love music, but I feel like it is just as equally important, that conversation that's been going on for so many years that people don't want to discuss, but you have fostered that with such great moms and just great energy. So I love that too.
Yeah.
But yes.
Shout out to the Mama's Den, because those are my girls, and we found each other in the pandemic,
Right.
and decided to create this thing together. And you know, we've done some amazing growth in the last few years of doing that, but it's given me an outlet to use my voice. I think for me,
Yes.
my voice is what I realized through this process is my gift, in whichever way I use it.
How did you just realize this now? Come on.
In the absence of music. I realized that people were still discovering me. People were still following me on
okay.
social media. They were still saying, hey, what do you have to say? What are your wellness practices? What is it like to be a mom? How do you feel about being a woman? How do you feel about XYZ? And again, I just found that through sharing my truth.
Right.
Through motherhood, through being a woman, through being an artist, whatever that looked like. And I think when I was just doing music, there was always this dance of how much do you share, how much not do you share, the mystique, the mysteriousness, the appeal. And I just always wanted to be human. I'm the girl who always will run into the girl in the bathroom crying over something, and I'd be like, let's have a therapy session right now.
I agree.
And so, you know, that's been my calling in life. When I was 4 years old, I said I wanted to grow up to be a singing nurse. That's what I said I wanted to be when I grew up. And so,
how did you, what?
Yeah, 4 years old. So she's real happy. She's really,
you fulfilled that.
Yeah, my 4-year-old self. She's really proud of me.
I am so happy to hear that.
Thank you. And that's been what it is. It's the journey of healing and how to bring healing. And that's what I will always do for the rest of my life, you know? If I don't want to sing at 65 years old, I want to be able to get up and do a TED Talk.
That's right.
You know, and I want this voice to take me to all the places that it can, and I don't want to be precious with that from a space of concern or shame or what it's like. Vulnerability has always been my superpower.
Yeah.
It's been the thing that has amounted me success through music.
Yes.
Saying the things and singing the things and saying the things that people were afraid to sing, and the heartbreak and the toxic love and all of these things. So I just don't ever want to feel like I need to shy away from that by using my voice ever.
So you found the value, the power behind your voice in the absence of music, right?
Yeah.
So is this also tied to the Great Awakening for you in 2012 where you physically could not use your voice?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the universe did that to remind you it's not just songs that, you know, your voice can be used for, but it can just be used to speak, to... Or what did that time teach you?
So when that happened,
and why did it happen?
It happened because I wasn't being mindful with my voice. I wasn't being mindful.
So you weren't drinking tea, resting it?
No, I wasn't protecting my peace. I wasn't setting boundaries. I was sharing my life, my body, my energy with people that I really shouldn't have been. And it was in a space of self-discovery as a woman, like really, truly. And I think that the universe and God just kind of yanked me by my vocal cords real quick to be like, you know what I gave you? Are you going to protect that? Are you going to operate from a frequency that is higher than where you are right now? Are you going to let ego steer you right now? Because that was at the peak. That was off the Grammys. That was off A Fool for You, the MF Life. That was like the peak. And it was like, I could take all this away from you real quick if you don't pay attention. And there was nothing physical going on.
But what were you doing that made God humble you?
Yeah, humble me real quick.
Like, why? What was going on, Melanie?
I wasn't being present. I was just going along. I was just, I'll show up here. Yeah, I'll do this here. Yeah.
It wasn't like intentional?
It was not intentional. And I think that was... That set the tone for how I needed to maneuver through this business. Or I might be burnt out, tired, strung out, doing something else, you know, with my life. And that would be a real disservice, I think, to the purpose of why I'm here and what I'm supposed to be doing. And being a voice in music, as I consider myself to be a real singer, you know, that...
yes. Hold on. You're being too humble. Absolutely. Melanie, absolutely. Hold on.
Listen.
What?
No, but it requires it requires a great responsibility.
Yes.
I can't just be out here doing everything with with
everybody and showing up.
No. You know, I have to be real selective with how and where I put my energy. And so that's what it reminded me of in that moment. It was, not all money is good money.
Ooh.
Not all opportunities are great opportunities.
That part.
You're going to have to say no so you can get to a place of saying yes.
Yes.
I'm going to let you know real quick. So that was like a real good awakening for me. And it really forced me actually even more so to get grounded with spirituality and God. And I think that really in that time of my life is what was missing. Mm-hmm. I was just operating. I was just existing. And I wasn't really tapped into higher self, higher spirit.
So... you just woke up one morning and just realized you can't sing? Like, what was that process like, and what was going through your mind? Like, I'm sure you were crying. Come on,
Oh, no,
right?
I cried. It was terrifying. I remember doing Essence Fest, and 30 minutes into my set, my voice is giving out, and my background singers are looking at me like, is she going to make it? They said a prayer over my voice because I was just struggling before we went on stage.
Yeah, but are you noticing it?
Oh, I'm noticing it.
But us... regular consumers, would we be able to notice it? Come on.
Maybe not. Okay. But if you know the strength and the clarity of my voice, you know, like I put my whole body into performing. So it's not a matter of me like like thankfully my voice never really cut out. And as a vocalist, you make adjustments. You might not hit that note at the note that it's supposed to be. You might have to make a little alteration and still give it something else the best that you can. That really comes from experience. But no, I was so scared during that time. I was like, what if my voice never recovers?
Of
what,
course.
What if it doesn't? But fortunately, like I said, going to see specialists and them telling me, hey, this is nothing physical going on. Your vocal cords are in great shape.
Bro, what did you do when they told you it's nothing physical? Like, how did you not go crazy?
Yeah. It was one doctor that just asked me, how are you? And I just crumbled.
How many doctors did you see
3
at that point? Okay.
3.
Oh my God. So was the last doctor who said, how are you?
He was the one who asked me. He said, how are you? He says, what kind of a year have you had?
Oh, shit.
And I just fell apart because I didn't even realize the things I was carrying, right? Like I was coming out of a really long-term relationship. I was heartbroken. I had moved. I'm experiencing great highs, great lows. That's what the MF life was. It was like the magnificent, fantastic life. Like it was highs and lows.
Really? Yes.
And so I was really living that. And so when somebody took a moment to ask me, how are you? I really just was like, how am I? How am I? Nobody's asked.
Yeah.
Nobody checked. I was just operating and I was just going and going and going. Damn. And when I was given a moment to pause between that doctor, he told me a story of a man that he was seeing. He's like, I had this patient who came in and he was this older man. He had this chronic cough, constantly clearing his throat. Nobody could figure out what it was. And he's like, and after treating him for a few months, I started to get to know him personally. He's like, and I learned that his wife and his daughter were killed in a car accident.
Oh my God.
And he's like, so that feeling of when you cry and you get choked up, he's like, that feeling when you can't get the words out.
Yes.
He was just in a perpetual state of being choked up from grief.
My heart.
And so the body keeps the score. And so here I am heartbroken. Here I am tired. Here I am being spent and pulled in all these different directions, processing great success and fame and all of these things. And it instantly took hold of my throat chakra and was like just tension, blockage, energy.
That is so scary.
All of it. And so my primary doctor was like, hey, would you be open to just trying some Eastern medicine?
I can't believe that the primary doctor recommended that because it feels like there's somewhat of a clash between, Western and Eastern
My primary
medicine.
doctor here in New York at the time, he was the best. And that was the thing that I loved about him is that he was very holistic.
Yeah.
If I needed a B12 shot in my ass because I was tired,
Right.
he could give it to me. But he could also say, hey, why don't you check out some Reiki and some acupuncture and let me...
And that's
literally what got me back to health. And within 3 sessions for the next month, I was back on tour with Mary J. Blige and D'Angelo for 6 weeks, not a voice problem in sight. And thank goodness have just been living with that conscious state of mind and protection over my peace since then.
So was it acupuncture or just Reiki or
Both. It was a combination of both.
Were you scared with the needles?
Oh, I was. And I don't like chiropractic treatment either. Like I'm terrified of a chiropractor. And so he did an adjustment on my neck too because again, it's just
my goodness.
It's tension, it's all of it, And again, at this point now I'm desperate because I'm like, I will try anything. My voice, my gift is being challenged.
That's it.
Let me seek whatever methods I need to seek at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Do I need puppy therapy?
Yes.
Send me for that too. I don't know. Let's go. Let's try it all. And it was just the awakening that I needed to become this person. It was the start of that.
And it happened.
Yeah.
So when that chapter finally it closes, right? You have your voice back. What happens after that? What goes on in Melanie Fiona's life? Is it immediately to the studio or is it, I took this lesson, I'm going to focus on me, and it's now focus on motherhood? Like, what happens after you regain your greatest gift?
Yeah. I start working on a project.
Okay.
And then I get pregnant.
Okay, that's fun.
And then I get pregnant. And then now I'm managing a whole new journey of myself.
Yeah.
And wondering about what that looks like. And now I'm dealing with the transition of, oh my God, like great joy and experiencing great anxiety about how this is going to change my whole life.
Yeah.
Personally and professionally.
Your career.
Again.
The fear and, the reality for us as women and deciding to have a family, it's real. The pressures of what's going to happen in your career, your life. I'm sorry, but we're thinking about somebody trying to take what I have. Are they going to think like I can't do both? Am I going to be able to do both? All those vulnerable thoughts that we have been programmed to be insecure about, right? It starts to creep up. How did you cope with this now that you just finally got your voice back?
Yeah. It was just another level up.
Did you feel like maybe music isn't for me anymore?
There were definitely times on the journey, and I wouldn't say that it was motherhood that did that for me.
Okay.
It was having a baby and then trying to push through to get that project out.
Oh, my heart,
and then feeling like the obstacles that I experienced through there and some of the chatter that was actually I that found me through whatever divine sources needed me to know.
Yeah.
The things that people were saying about me, the things that people, the disbelief of what it was. And then what I realized is that it didn't feel safe. It didn't feel safe for me to be all these things. And so then that's when I had to dismantle the business of music from my life. And that's when I had to really be like, how do I want to do this moving forward?
Yeah.
What do I want this to look like? Okay, I don't want this contract anymore. I don't want to do music this way. I don't want to be in partnership with this person anymore. I don't really want to, I don't know how I want to do it, but I don't think I can continue to do it this way.
Right.
And so that took some time too.
Yeah.
That took some time too. The reframing of the business side of things. These things take time.
Oh, yes.
I mean, listen, you've heard everyone's heard the word in perpetuity, right?
Absolutely.
That's like the reddest red flag of a contract.
Yes.
And so people want to hold on to that and fight for that. And, you have to fight against it. And I whenever I see that word in even the smallest of contracts, I'm like,
Nope.
That word gets out immediately.
Yeah.
But when you're signing a contract in 2007.
Right.
And
How
that's
young
common
you are.
life. Yeah. and
It's your dream.
I'll do anything to get there.
You're one signature away from it.
From
of
it.
course.
Yeah. And so, education and experience makes you wiser. And so I really did. Like, there was a time where I was like, I just don't even know if this is for me. Not from a space of music, but this way of doing music.
The business.
How do I want to reframe it? And so that's what I took the time to do. And then enter a pandemic.
Damn, this is all back to back.
It's all happening. My son was born in 2016.
This is happening.
So it's all happening. And even in that time, like just the, every time I thought I'd figured something out, life was just like, boom, here's another thing for you to figure out. Boom, here's another thing. And the professional heartbreak, and I've shared that online, what that looks like. That was the facing of, do I want to do this anymore?
Yeah.
What does that look like? How do I want to feel? Oh my gosh, I have to end certain relationships with people that I thought would be around forever.
Ugh.
I have to close certain chapters and sign off on lesson learned.
Yes. Yes.
Start again. I'll never say start over because we're starting over. You're not starting from scratch,
right?
And so that takes time, and that takes healing and rediscovery and putting aside self-doubt and setting intention for what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
And so I think the freedom for me came from, I don't need to be who I was before.
No.
I don't need to recreate It Kills Me or I don't need, I did
listen,
it.
Classics.
Classics.
We don't have to throw shade on them at the same time.
There's
I was like, these are classics.
No, but those are the songs that have carried me through, and I honor and love and respect and I'm so grateful for the girl and the creatives that we made that. But now who am I now? And what do I want to create now? And what does the next chapter of music and art look and sound like for me? And so that required self-discovery. That required people calling me up and being like, yo, what are you doing? How can I help?
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah.
And that was how the universe reminded me, now you still got more. Like, you're not out. Like, I posted this thing the other day, was like, count me down. Don't ever count me out. Like, count it down. Like, okay, we're just counting down to when it's time. It's time.
It's time.
So we're here. We're back. We're going on tour. We've got the EP out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so grateful for today because that's all we have right now.
Yeah.
Today, this music is out.
And it happened the way you wanted it to, honestly.
On God's time, truly.
Right. Whether you knew it or not at those moments, right, where it felt like just like an obstacle to get this out, it's the greatest blessing. Because now you get to do it the way you want to do it, truly.
And I'm still learning so much.
Right.
Like, even this is a whole new space of music for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Streaming, putting a project out, streaming, digital music, like all these things, like it's like a whole different space of when I first put out music.
Right. Because how was it before?
I was slinging CDs.
Right.
Like we had CDs.
That's right.
We were selling physical copies of things. You know, so that's even a wild thing for me to watch the transition and the evolution of technology, of music, of how to maintain community, build community, stay in touch with your fans, all of that. So that's all that's a crash course. That's what I've been doing, you know? So like it's all encompassing, but it's all on my terms, which I think is beautiful. And it's a lot of work. Yeah. It's a lot of brain space.
It's the greatest gift.
And
truly.
I have way more responsibility now because I've got kids. I got a whole life. Like it's not just me out here being like, I'm outside.
Right.
I was like, yeah, but I got to be back by 9 to put these kids to bed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. You know, but again, it's blessed stress.
Yeah.
And I feel, again, it's just grateful.
You said
Gratitude.
that the chatter, you heard some of the chatter during that time, hurtful things said about you. What was the most hurtful thing that you heard that really just struck a chord? It could have been from someone you cared about or not, but what was it? What was said that you're just like, I remember how that made me feel and it hurt me?
Yes, someone that was a part of that chapter of my life, when I knew how hard I was working to prove to myself and my partners at that time that I was in it, that I had this baby, that I was going to put out this project, that I was down to do the promo, that I would go on tour, that I was willing to be in it. And in the process, after I had done all of that, it got back to me that somebody had said, you know, we had to make certain accommodations because she had a baby, and use that to weaponize the fact that why we didn't get to where we wanted to get to. And I just felt so hurt by that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know what I did to try to show up and say, I'm here.
Yeah.
Don't count me out. And the fact that
that makes me angry.
Yeah, and the fact that they would use that to make it seem
so
as to
cowardly.
why that it didn't amount to what we thought. It wasn't because of me. Like, I need y'all to have some accountability as well.
Facts.
So, you know, but at the end of the day, I was never supposed to be there.
That's right.
I was never supposed to be there in that time. So I chopped it up. I was like, cool. Like the rumors are true.
Yeah.
Like the rumors are true. People are going to say things. They are. But like, again, I know how I was doing my best.
Yes.
I know how I was intending to show up.
Yeah.
And so if that wasn't good enough for someone else, that's fine. It wasn't for you.
Right.
It wasn't for you.
And it's not for you.
And it's not
going to be.
Yeah.
At
ever.
all. Like,
ever.
And it's okay.
Peace and blessings.
Yes, absolutely.
See you in the next time.
So this is how we get to say yes.
Yeah.
Now, the song Say Yes. What's something you wish you would have said yes to that you did not?
Look at Nessa. Giving us with the tricky questions. Okay. What is something I would have said yes to that I did not? When I first got pregnant, this is truly one of the only regrets I have in my life. Because of the seeds of fear, judgment, patriarchy, all these things that were planted in, you're going to be a damaged good if you have a baby while you're at the height of your career. I allowed that to steal my joy in the very early stages of my pregnancy.
It makes me
sad. In a time where I felt like I should have been so excited. Now, granted, there's always a level of fear with great change, right?
Of course.
But it was the fear of that seed that I didn't even plant within myself that really, because I always knew I wanted to be a mother. Always. Like that was the only other thing I ever said. I was like, I want to be a mom. That's it. Like after this, that's what I want to do at that time. And I wish I would have said yes to welcoming in the joy, the undeniable joy of what my child brought to me day one. And I wish I wouldn't have let that version of that seed that was planted in me inhibit that in any way. Yeah, because I felt like I had to hide my pregnancy.
Right.
I was like, you didn't have to hide your pregnancy.
Right.
You really didn't.
Yeah.
That was that fear being like, you know, and God is funny because my son, I mean, at 3 months, I was looking like a 6-month lady, 6-month pregnant lady.
Yeah. You learned your lesson,
it was like,
though. I'm here.
I'm coming.
And that's that.
Right. You're not going to hide me. This blessing will not be hidden.
Right.
So you're going to have to embrace me, and you're going to have to celebrate and make this blessing a part of who you are. And it really has. My sweet spot of my creativity and my fullest purpose is the intersection of motherhood, music, and wellness.
What a blessing.
That right there is all I want to be for the rest of my life, myself. Oof. So I feel blessed that I don't have to take off one mask and put on another.
Right.
I get to be myself.
You've done that already.
That's
I've done that already. We've all done that.
We've all done it.
And that's why I'm so happy that this time around, this is you. This is what you want to do. And what we're hearing is years and years and years of hard work coming together. And I'm so happy for you. I want to talk about Mona Lisa because I love the video.
Thank you.
I thought it was so cute. Just everything, Mona Lisa Smile. What is it about this song? What's it about? How did it come about? What was going on in your mind before creating it?
Mona Lisa Smile is an anthem for, I made it from the woman's perspective. One, the Mona Lisa is this beautiful, revered piece of art.
Right.
We don't know if she's sad. Her eyes look sad, but she's got a small smirk. Like, we don't know what she's carrying. We don't know what the story is behind it. It's left up to interpretation. And I think that as women, and especially women of color, we have to show up in this world often with our Mona Lisa Smile in our jobs, in the world. We don't get to just often express how we feel all the time. And so that song came from a place of being a woman, a Black woman in this world, being a mother, being a wife, and talking from a space of, ooh, like if I let one tear fall, I might turn into an ocean. So I'm just going to hold it together right now, and I'm going to put on my best Mona Lisa smile, but I'm going to talk so much shit internal because I'm just like, no, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. And we're going to get through this come hell or high water, and I'm going to keep my shoulders back and my head high for right now because that's what I have to do.
When was the last time you had to do that? Tell me. I need to know.
Who?
Be honest.
Today? Yesterday? Right now? I'm so tired. I'm so tired, you know?
But you show up.
But I'm showing up. As we do, as we do. And so, you know, that's where Mona Lisa Smile comes from. And there's 3 installations, actually. I'm getting ready to put out the 3rd one. The first one was, you know, me in the art gallery. And then the second one was me in a Black hair salon, because the Black hair salon is a sacred and safe space for women to be able to share and to exhale. And that's what I wanted to represent. The 3rd installation that's coming out is the motherhood aspect of it.
Yes.
And so, it's honoring the women who are still trying to maintain their poise and their grace with the chaos of motherhood surrounding them.
And it's real chaos.
And it's real chaos. It's real chaos. So that song for me was just a really, I wanted it to have deeper meaning. And I wanted people to understand the deeper meaning, as opposed to it just being a great song and one that people really love.
Yes.
But visually, I wanted them to identify and find themselves in it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes, all of the above.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's great.
Thank you.
How about I Choose You?
Ooh. I Choose You.
What are you feeling right now when I said that? Why?
Well, I love my husband. I love...
Who is he? Why do you love him so much? What makes this guy so special?
He's my person. Yeah, I believe he's my person. And we chose each other. And the life that we've built and me being here today is a direct result of choosing him.
Yes.
Making that choice.
Yes.
And him choosing me.
Yep.
And the commitment that we've made to one another to choose each other in this life, and what we've built through it is probably the biggest decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
Is choosing him as my partner.
Yes.
You know? So that to me is why I smile when I say that record, because I made a good choice.
That's right.
I made a good choice. And I Choose You, the song itself, comes from my wedding vows, you know, because I said to him, I would choose you in this life and every life I find you. And that is the thing that I want. I wanted a song for the lovers. I wanted people to put that on at their weddings and at the barbecue and do step with the person that they love. And we even created a little, like, I call it the Lovers Rock Shuffle. It's like an 8 count that people could do. You know what I mean? I want to see people doing it.
Yes.
I want to see that. Like, we got the electric slide, now we got the Lovers Rock Shuffle. I want to see y'all doing it because it's just joyful and it's positive and it's affirmative, you know? So I love that. And it's got a reggae vibe. So, you know, I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm always give you a little reggae vibe in everything I can do at every time I can. So, you know, it's like that to me is, I smile because I love that record so much. It's so fun to perform and sing.
Did you ever doubt your relationship with him at all? Or
No.
did you always know, hey, I choose you and this is what it is?
So it's funny because I've shared this story so many times, so people are so interested in our journey. When we met, we dated for a year and then we broke up. And people are always like, well, what? Like, so
Right.
how did you spin the block? I was like, no, I didn't spin the block. I just kept going. And we met each other where we needed to meet each other.
Yeah, I
He met
love
me
that.
where I was at.
Yeah.
I wasn't turning around. We just had to keep going and journey. And when we finally got to that place, wasn't too long after, you know, and we made the decision, like, we're going to do this together. You know, that was a commitment within itself. And then
Right.
6 months later, I was pregnant.
Right.
So
that's big.
yeah.
I'm going to be honest because, you know, that could make or break a situation.
Listen.
Let's be very honest with people right now.
No, it really can. But again, I think once we had gotten back together, we both had this understanding, like, we're going to do this.
Right.
We didn't talk about having kids right away, but we knew we wanted to be partners and build a life together when that happened. God said, I'm
Okay.
so glad y'all got your shit together because this little spirit has been circling around up here
Right.
waiting for y'all to get it together to be here. And that is an undeniable truth about my son, about our son, Cameron. Like, from the moment he was born, I just knew, I was like, oh, this is why you and I actually have to be together. It's not just about us.
Right.
It's about this person being on the planet.
Oh my
It's about this spirit coming earthside, as well as our daughter. And so even in the hard times, like the first line of I choose you is, I don't like you, I love you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and that's going to be the thing. I might not like you all the time, but I
Right.
choose you.
Every time.
Every time.
Every
I'm going
time.
to choose you every time, as long as it's healthy.
Right, as
Now,
long as it's healthy.
we're going to choose to do this together. We're going to choose to do the work that's required
Right.
to honor this commitment that we made to one another. It's not going to be perfect. We don't have all the answers all the time, but we make the choice to show up because
Every
we've chosen
time.
each other.
Oh, for
and to do the
sure.
work that's required. And so even right now, like, this is probably the busiest season of our lives that we are in.
Yes.
And I always think about Michelle Obama talking about, she's like, I didn't like Barack for 10 years, but we honor their love and we see they made it through the journey. We just didn't see it publicly.
Right.
You know, she was raising those kids being like, ooh, this man,
How many diapers
how many
do I have to change?
change by myself? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all these things. But again, it was the choice to see it through.
To see it through.
To see it through.
It's never easy.
No,
'Cause-
nothing is.
But here's the thing. People are seeing your relationship and it's beautiful, right? But it's easy to just think it's a fairy tale.
No, it takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work. It takes
From both
from
people.
both of us. And we're both equally on our own individual journeys as well.
Yeah.
But I often say this too, like, having a partner in life truly it's such a when you really honor what partnership can look like, you have a partner for a reason.
Yes.
You should be able to lean on that person.
yeah.
You should be able to go to that person. Like, that's truly what partnership is. It's about building things together and creating things together. That's why you do it. If not, just you do your thing, I'll do my thing, and
We'll just
we'll
coexist.
just coexist.
Yes, right.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
When did you last lean on him and for what?
I'm leaning on him right now.
Right.
I'm in New York. He's in
Right.
LA.
Making
Got
sure
the
everything's
kids.
okay with the
Yeah.
kids.
Holding it down.
That's right.
And then he's about to fly in and be with me. You know, and that's how we support each other. And
Yeah.
like, it's great. And he also too, with his line of business, he's in music, he's a manager, he's gone often.
Right.
And I hold it down at home when I'm home. The kids are good. We're taken care of. We love you. Go be great.
Right.
It is ebb and flow, and it takes a lot of work and communication and respect. And that's really where it is. It's like, no one of us is bigger than the other to
Right.
carry the load. We're doing this together.
For your song, Make Me Feel, is that La Russell on it?
It is.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I'm hearing the project obviously before everyone else got it,
Yeah.
and it wasn't listed. But I was like, yes, okay.
It's La Russell.
So how and why?
Because I'm in a season of working with people that feel aligned energetically, and he is a ball of light. And he is an independent spirit that is creating a movement that everyone is going to put respect on, because he's operating from such a place of joy, freedom, and intention, and community. Like, he's building something.
For sure.
And he's dedicated on his craft. And so we ended up just like exchanging compliments online, like, yo, you're so dope, you're so dope. We followed each other. I did the record with D Mile, the producer of the century. I mean, he's done everything for everyone, from Victoria Monet to Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, all of it. Lucky Day. And we did that record together. And I was originally rapping on the second verse, which is hilarious because I love
We need to hear it. Drop it.
You're on it.
I need a funk flex bomb. That's how we're gonna do an exclusive.
Exactly, exclusive. But I knew I wanted to get a feature on it, and then I did a track with LaRussell. He came to LA. I jumped on a track of his, and then I sent it to him. I was like, hey, I have a record I think I would love for you to get on. Just let me know what you think. Sent it over to him. He sent it back. It was perfect. Like it was no notes. I didn't have to go back and be like, hey, can you, his flow was so on point. He rode the beat perfectly. Mm-hmm. He understood what I was saying in the song and matched the energy from the male perspective. My favorite line of his verse is, insecure about your weight gain, I still like it. Like, what woman doesn't want to hear that?
Say it again. Say it again.
Insecure about your weight gain, I still like it.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Yeah.
just so beautiful the way that he said it. And I just knew that I wanted to create with him. And I just think in this independent space, it only felt right to work with another independent artist.
When you said in alignment, what is it about him that you just felt aligned with?
He's free. Mm-hmm. He's free. He's doing it because he loves it.
Right.
He's doing it because he wants to make impact. Mm-hmm. He's doing it because he wants to make a difference. Mm-hmm. It's aligned.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing. Yeah, no ego.
Gosh, yeah.
No ego. He's just doing it. When I went to the studio to work with him on our song, by the time I left, he had worked on 3 songs. And he wasn't trying to perfect.
Right.
And
it wasn't. I like that.
No, it was just like, this is what it is, next. He was just making.
This is what it is.
This is what it is. I don't know if it's my best work yet, but it's the work I made today. And I'm not going to overthink it. And I'm going to put it out. Because the more people that have something to listen to from me, the more people will find it and fall in love with it and support it. And, it's a...
Is that different for you?
Yeah,
because
I can't operate like that. No.
I was like, I feel like you're a perfectionist.
I
am.
I'm a woman, and I'm really sensitive about my... it's a muscle that I'm training. That's really what this project is, though. Say Yes is. I didn't overthink it. When a song was done, I didn't go back and make 85 songs for this and then just decide on 6.
How did you restrain yourself?
I just decided that that it was good enough. I said this is good enough. It's what you created. Don't overthink it. Again. Right. You don't need to make it kills me again. You don't need. You did it.
You did it.
Add this to the arsenal and keep going.
Right.
So that's what Say Yes is. That's why but it's really, really good. I'm not even there's no cap. Like this EP is so good. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of myself for seeing it through.
Yes.
I'm so proud of the people that said yes to collaborate with me, that showed up and we had fun making it. I'm so proud of the way I evolved and I used my voice differently and allowed myself to give variation and evolution. Like I'm really proud of this project, and I will always be proud of it.
For the song Say Yes, so is Sir a co-writer on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he's doing backgrounds on
so
it
it's
as well.
true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's true. Oh, no, I'm going to drop all the names, okay? Say Yes, it's produced by Andre Harris, Thundercat, Charlie Burrell, Chris Dave, some of the greatest goats of musicians and artists in the game. Co-written by Sir. Backgrounds accompany me by Sir. D. Mile, Tierra Thomas, LaRussell, James Fauntleroy, Child, Akil Henry, Little Eddie. These are my friends. These are people in the music industry who have contributed on this project. They are goats of the game. Like you know their music through your favorite artists. If you don't, get familiar.
Right.
So, if you don't know these are the guys, these are the guys, So I'm so blessed to be in the company of greatness with these people. So I know that this is a good project.
Oh, for
They
sure.
don't make bad music.
Right.
Neither do I.
Right. Hello.
So put us in a room and we're going to make some good music.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
So I'm really, really proud of this project. Say Yes, specifically that song, is on the project. It's the opening song and it's the ending song. And the ending version is 7 minutes long.
What was the thought process behind this? There's an intention.
Yeah, there was no thought process behind it.
Sheesh,
it was us getting in a room and letting it go. And what you hear is an unedited, unsequenced version. This is just these guys in the room playing with no communication. It is just musician magic that's happening. So when you hear the 7-minute version, the transitions, like just when you think the song's about to end, they go into another groove. Just when you think it's about to go somewhere else, it takes another turn. And so that's my, what can you do in 7 minutes?
Right.
You ride out, you want to meditate, you want to make love, you want to smoke a J. What do you want to do?
Right.
Use that 7 minutes however you will. But a 7-minute song doesn't exist anymore.
At all.
And so I wanted people to have something to get lost in.
Right.
This we've trained people to have such a short attention span. We don't even do bridges anymore in
Right.
songs. Like it's like chorus, verse, chorus, out, you know?
That's it.
It's over.
You're lucky you get 2
You're
minutes.
lucky if you get 2 minutes 23. Like
Right.
so I wanted that. It was a choice. It was a choice to have that exist the way that it does and allow people to get lost in how ethereal it is, the backgrounds. It's just a vibe. It's strictly just a vibe.
Speaking of the bridge and bridges, how about the bridge? Coming out 16 years ago. 16.
I got 2009, the math on that.
16. How have you changed from then to now?
I'm a more confident, assured version of myself. You know? I think the thing that has remained the same is that I've always been pure of heart. That girl in 2009 was straight out of Toronto, eyes wide open to what was being asked of her, willing to do it, willing to show up, but also not really willing to compromise to the art that she wanted to create. You know, being a young girl in the industry, I was pushed and encouraged in many different directions to make an album that sounded and looked and felt differently. And I was like, I really want to sing. I really want to sing. Like, I want to sing big ballads. Like, I want to make Whitney Houston proud.
Right.
I want to honor the fact that I grew up with my parents playing Sam Cooke in the house. I want to make Lauryn Hill proud. Like, I want to reflect the artists that I really admire.
Right.
And I don't necessarily want to chase a trend.
Right.
So I honor the fact that girl in 2009, she's still holding strong.
Yeah.
You know, right now as a woman, I'm still holding strong on what I want to do and what I want to say. I'm just now more in control of how I want to do it.
Yes.
And so the girl in 2009, she's a people pleaser. She was a big people pleaser. Yeah, she was saying yes for all the wrong reasons.
Ooh.
Yeah. As a woman, I'm saying yes for all the right reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big change.
Yeah.
Do you have a worst memory during that time?
Really, that's an interesting question. It's really hard for me because I don't really spend too much time lamenting over things that don't go right because I know there's a blessing in it always.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I think about all the people that said no to It Kills Me when I shopped that record, and people were like, "No, we don't know what to do with this. You're singing."
What do you mean? How many people said no to you?
Oh, the labels that didn't snatch it up.
Oh.
Yeah, all the rejection.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Oh yeah, I walked into several labels with It Kills Me, and people were like, "We don't really know what to do with a big song like this, a singing like a."
That must have hurt though during that time. You're like, what?
It made me question the integrity of the industry.
Right.
Because
For
I was
sure.
like, did Whitney Houston ever walk into a building and they said, "Please don't sing that well"? You know, like she wouldn't be Whitney Houston without her voice. So
Wow.
it burst a bubble of like
Like, what is
naivete.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this industry really about?
But then what that did is it redirected me to Steve Rifkin. And I walked into Steve Rifkin's office, a hip hop label, and played It Kills Me. And he didn't let me leave New York City without offering me a contract.
Look at
He played it
that.
13 times in the meeting.
I love that you remembered it.
Oh,
was 13
absolutely.
times.
13 times. He had a showcase. He had just signed
Wow.
4 female artists. And he was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm going to sign another one.
Let's go.
Yeah, and that's all that was. It's just a redirection. So again, like I don't really think about like horrible times like that. You know, I think about, you know, really hard moments when again, it's the duality of what I've been called to do. I'm on tour with Alicia Keys. I'm in Ireland. My grandmother's sick and dying. I can't attend the funeral. I miss it. My mom's 50th birthday. I miss it.
Yeah.
You know, these are things that I don't get to go back and change.
Right.
And I understand the great sacrifice that comes with that. But again, it's a blessing to live in my purpose and to have the support of my loved ones back home.
Yeah. Of
And so,
course.
you know, there are really hard moments that you just don't get to do over.
Yeah.
But again, in living in my purpose, I can't have the regrets. I
No
can't have the
regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
Someone had posted about, some of the ladies in R&B putting music out this year, right?
Let's go.
Keri Hilson.
Let's go.
Tamar Braxton.
Let's go R&B girlies.
I'm going to add you and I'm going to add JoJo to this list, right?
Yes.
What do you think it is?
It's energy. Energy.
Tell me about this energy. Come on.
Energy begets energy. There's no playing small in this life anymore for women. That's what this is. This is a season where we are seeing women. When you see your sisters step up and step over their fear, it encourages you to do the same.
Sheesh.
And so that's what's happening. That's what's happening. We're taking inventory of the clock that doesn't exist. The clock that's been ticking, no.
It doesn't.
I have gas in the tank. Why am I not going to drive this car?
Come on now.
I have more breath in these lungs. Why am I
right.
not going to? I still have purpose. I still have excitement. I still have gifting. Why would I It's just being tapped in. If God is calling you to do something, you answer. Period. So I just think God is doing work right now. I think the universe is just active, especially on women right now. We are the life source. We are the soil of this earth.
But don't you think that's interesting though?
Yes, but not.
But
not
you're not
coincidental.
surprised.
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised.
Are you excited about someone else, right? As far as when you see someone that came up with you and you're like, oh yeah, okay, the gas, they're running it out. They're going to just keep on pushing. Is there anyone that you're looking forward to? Because I feel like overwhelmingly people are excited for you.
They are. I'm really excited for people like Jazmine Sullivan.
Oh yeah.
I love watching Jazmine's journey because we came out at the same time and we have a lot of the same fan base. And so she's been a source of inspiration for me. Take your time. It's yours to take. You put the music out, your people will be there. If it's good, they're going to find it and they're going to support you. And they appreciate you for who you are and what you do. So I love seeing that. People like Lauryn Hill still out here touring.
Yeah.
Being out here. I love that. Seeing girls like JoJo being on tour, knowing that they're just good people at heart,
and loves it. And loves the craft and loves the game as far as singing and just pouring your heart out.
Yeah, I mean, even like Tank. Tank is doing Broadway right now.
Isn't it phenomenal? Isn't it great to see just the range, the dynamics?
Because God said so.
And
how dare we decide that we are limited to one area of our lives? How dare we decide that we're just limited to one version of ourselves?
Yeah.
That is a disservice to the calling that you have in this life. Allow yourself, and that doesn't just go for artists, that goes for everyone.
Everybody, absolutely.
Give yourself the space to discover who and what you can become if you just listen with intention, if you listen with purpose, for seeking purpose in your life.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy for this chapter. I mean, we could talk day and night. Yeah. And I still have to ask you just a few more questions.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm here.
Now, you mentioned that you wanted to work with Brandy in our conversation. Yeah. Why?
I mean, the vocal Bible herself. She carries the title of the vocal Bible. There's not a vocalist in the music industry that does not respect Brandy's craft, period.
Right. What is it? Explain it for...
It's the tone. It's the tone and the way that she uses her instrument. That tone, the runs, the riffs, the warmth. There's just a frequency that her voice carries. Ooh. That just... As a singer, you want to practice those runs.
Yeah.
As a fan, you want to listen to that. Like you want to be in it. And then also she's giving us the story from her teenage years well into her adult life.
Right, yeah.
And in the encounters that I've had with Brandy personally, she's just been the most sweet and the most gracious.
I love hearing that.
The most sweet and the most gracious.
Because you never know what you're going to walk into.
You don't. And I just see her. I feel like I see her. And she dropped a piece of wisdom on me once that I never forgot. And it made so much sense in retrospect now about light and how you carry your light and how things will come in to dim your light. And every time you veer off, that light gets dimmed. And so you have to remember that it's the light and it's God.
You got to protect it.
Yeah, you got to protect the light. Yeah.
Who would you say is on your Mount Rushmore of vocalists? 4 names. Or actually, 3 names. 4. Yeah.
4 names.
Your Mount Rushmore of vocalists.
Okay. Brandy's on there. Whitney Houston's on there.
Okay.
Jazmine Sullivan's on there. And India.Arie is on there.
That's good.
I mean, Lauryn Hill, can we share?
We'll carve, on the mountain on the other side.
Listen, them men on the mountain. We have a women of 5 and Lauryn Hill is on there, okay? It's just, yeah, that's my shining star. If I want to sing, that's who I'm listening to. Yeah.
That's a high bar.
Yeah, it's a bar.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is exciting. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a chance to tell any of them how much you love them?
All of them.
You've told them?
Oh, all of them.
You don't hold back?
Oh, no, I give people their flowers.
I know.
100%. Well, Whitney, I never got a chance to.
Sure.
But I did because I won my Grammys the day after she died. And I thanked her in my speech because she was the first voice that made me fall in love with singing, for sure, hands down, as a baby, as a child. She set that foundation for me. Lauryn Hill showed me what it was to be hip-hop, R&B, an actress, all of it. Brandy showed me what it is to run. Jazmine Sullivan showed me what it was to sing. Yeah. As a young girl in the industry, come out and sing, out the gate, sing and push. And who did I say last? India.Arie. Mm-hmm. India.Arie showed me what it was to heal through your voice. I saw India.Arie in Toronto. I won tickets to see her live in concert by singing her song on the radio. This was in high school, long before a music career. And I went to see her, and I remember saying, that's how I want to make people feel. Because she just was so energetic through her connection, her spiritual connection to her audience.
I was going to say, what did she make you feel?
Oh, she made me feel like I could heal on stage. Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah, she was so powerful. And her tone and what she was singing about and all of that, like, it's just all of it. And every single one of those voices has made singing about vulnerability a hit record.
Isn't that something?
Period. And
Damn.
those are my people. That's my tribe.
Your fans have shared how much you've saved their life and got them through really tough times. I know that's got to mean the world to you, right? And it's just, you're helping someone who, you've shared your postpartum depression, your experiences, but when you're hearing you're saving lives through music, did you ever think your music can just save somebody, heal somebody?
The little girl, she knew. 4-year-old singing nurse, she knew.
Have you cried reading a message from somebody? Has anyone ever made you, or you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like doctors at times have to just keep it together. But has there been a story or somebody said, hey, Melanie, your music did this, and you were like...
So recently there was a comment online that brought me to tears. Somebody just truly poured out how grateful they were for the music, how they've found healing through watching my journey as a woman. That really brought me to tears. Mm-hmm. But the very first moment I recognized it, I was on a promo run in the very beginning of my career for It Kills Me. And I went to, Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Where was it? What school? Not Spelman. Clark? No, it was Spelman. No, it was Spelman. And I was doing a promo run for Spelman, and I finished talking about the record and saying the record is out. And as I left the auditorium, I was getting ready to leave. This one girl came running up to me. She's like, oh my God, please don't leave. Please don't leave. I have to go get my roommate. Please don't leave. And I waited, and she brought her roommate, and this girl came to me and fell in my arms and cried. And this was the first time I had ever had anyone do this to me. And I was like, what is happening? Like, I didn't know. And she was just like, oh my God, you don't understand. I just love you. I love you so much. She's like, my roommate, my best friend, she was listening to your music and I had never heard of you before. And then I started listening to your songs and I watched your interviews and I realized that, like, if you could have a broken heart and get out of bed, so could I. And I was like, whoa. And that's when everything changed. That's when everything changed for me. That's when I realized, wow, this is like not just about a #1 record. You can have real impact on people's lives. Yeah. And that was a turning point. And then I got this tattoo on my hand which said live on purpose.
So it was after this?
It was after that, yeah.
Wow.
Because it was more than music after that.
Yeah.
It was about connection. And that was the first time. And that was before the record had become a #1 record. That was just me recognizing this wasn't about being famous. This was about people feeling things. Mm-hmm. And I feel things.
What did you feel on this EP?
On this, like for this EP?
Yes, for this project.
I feel relief. And I feel freedom. And I feel relief. When I say relief, I feel relief like, oh, you did it. You know what you had to go through to get to this place.
Did you doubt that?
No, not for this project. There was times when I was like, how
am I going to get
How am I going to do it? What's it going to do? But again, God was like, here you go. Here's someone who's, hey, what do you want to do? You have some music you want to put out? Sure. Cool. Let's do it. Hey, what are you working on? Let's get in the studio. Hey, I'm working on an EP. Can you come to the studio? Yeah. That's how.
Were you surprised to see everybody support you? Who you called on, right? Clearly, there was no hesitation.
No, that's the thing, is that I think from a humility standpoint, the universe was just like, remember who you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember who you are.
Remember who you are. You're a good person. You have great relationships. You have a great gift and a great talent. Mm-hmm. People are going to show up for you. Mm-hmm. Let them.
Let them.
Let them. Let them help. Let them show up. Don't feel like you got to struggle and do by yourself and do everything.
Let them.
When people say, let me help, let them.
Yeah.
And so I did. And it wasn't about being perfect. Mm-hmm. And it was about being really honest. Hey guys, I don't know. I'm really stepping back into this space and I don't know. It's going to take a minute. Like, can you help me unscrew the faucet?
Yeah. Right.
And get this creativity flowing.
And it happened. What do you want people to remember about you? What do you want your legacy to be?
This is Nessa, you're so good. You ask the thoughtful questions. And I always want to give thoughtful answers. I want my legacy to be that I was a healer. Every time I opened my mouth, somebody found some level of healing.
Yeah, you did. And you have.
Thank
and
you.
You continue to do so. And I'm so happy to see you doing it the way you wanted to do it. And I'm so proud of how you've used your voice, your gift, your greatness in every way, whether it's through music, whether it's your words, whether it's just you building community and just really showing up time and time again. You're doing it.
Thank you.
And you're not slowing down. So we have this and you're going back on the road. So is this the first time you're going back on a road touring like this for your own work?
Yes. Yeah, it is. The last time I went on tour, I mean, I've always been doing spot dates. I used to do these like city wineries. They're all over like the United States. I would go and do like little mini pop-up weekend tours. But this is the first like real tour, 15 dates. We kick it off April 27th in Philly. Mm-hmm. We're in New York on May 7th. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, really excited to just get out. Like, people haven't seen me in this way ever.
Yeah.
Ever. They've never seen me like this.
Ever.
No, because what do we have? We have a catalog of songs that people have now listened to.
Right.
And we have a new project. So sharing this artistically on stage is, I don't think, a way that anyone has ever seen before. And it's a way that I've never been able to do it. So I'm so excited to be able to share my performance artistry this time.
Man, it's going to be something else.
It's on my terms. It's my set design. It's my flow of show. It's how I want it to do. The singing nurse is going to be on stage. Like, she's going to be there. It's me. Yeah. I'm her.
Where are tickets? Where can people start?
MelanieFiona.com. The tickets are there. All the cities and dates are listed. We're going everywhere. 15 dates. So, and this is also the longest I'm going to be away from my kids.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to cry probably a few times.
How are you holding it together?
You know what? I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
I'm just operating from gratitude and knowing that I'm blessed to have the support I need to be able to do this.
Right.
So I have the help to know while I'm gone. The kids are going to come out on a few dates. They're going to have to. I'm not going to be away from them for 3 weeks. That'll be crazy. I've never been away from my kids for that long, like ever. So, this is a new chapter for all of us, but I'm also excited for them to see me.
Yes.
Like when mommy gets on a plane and she goes, this is where she goes. This is what she does. My daughter looked at me the other day and she goes, Mom, you're the best singer in the world. And I just was like, that's it.
That's all we want.
I
for
don't
our
need
kids.
another stream. No, I'm lying. I do need the streams.
Yeah,
but
please stream.
But yeah, please stream. But my daughter said that to me at 3 years old, and I was like, oh. And she did it while holding my face. Like,
oh my, that's it.
That's success.
You won.
That's success. It's a win. My album is platinum in my house. The end.
That's
it. You know, so I'm really excited for the tour. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please do. Please bring a friend. Like, I just know the thing about my shows is that when people come, I always see people in the comments who are like, who wants to come with me to the show? And it's like, girl, come by yourself.
Right. And
you
have
are
that
going
moment.
You're going to find someone there that's going to become a homegirl.
Yes.
You're going to find a friend. You might find a boo.
Right.
You know, like the community of people who love my music, they're just genuine.
Yes.
They're such genuine human beings.
Yep.
It's not about fanfare. It's not about hype. It's not about scandal and cap and virality. It's not about any of this.
Never been that.
It's about music and it's about community and love, and like that's who's there. So like I'm just so looking forward to connecting with the people on this tour, really, with my people who've been with me, who've been waiting, who are just discovering me.
Are you going
Like,
to
it's
perform
very
the
exciting.
classics?
Oh,
okay.
of course.
I just want to make sure we know, we just.
How crazy would it be to tell my story without the classics?
Right, okay.
I'm telling my story on stage. That's what this is.
Are you going to cry on stage?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
I will
we'll
probably,
be there.
Yeah, come
We're gonna
see me
catch some
cry.
tears. Yes,
I'm a Cancer.
We'll cry together.
We're going to cry together. Shout out to Cancers. We'll be crying.
We're crying.
We're going to be
Let's
crying.
go.
Yeah.